Welcome to the Deals Behind the Money. I'm Mary Kathleen Flynn. I'm here with David Mason, who is the founder of StudioNow, and you're in the online video space, which obviously is an area that's near and dear to my heart. But people are approaching it from a lot of different directions. How does StudioNow approach it?
Right, StudioNow is a couple of different pieces. It's one part, we have the largest creative network of professional videographers, editors, animators, voiceover individuals that can create really a very broad, diverse range of content for online video. The second part is we create custom video production platforms for our partners. So we take care of everything soup to nuts, from the very kind of mundane to the very high-end creative components for these partners, and that allows them to really scale, to really crank out the amount of video content they create. And then ultimately though, where our real value add is reducing the cost per piece of content for those partners.
Before we get going much further into the conversation, we should talk about your background a bit, because this is not your first endeavor. You're a serial entrepreneur.
Yes, I've started fairly early, quite some time ago in the internet retail space. I started one of the first internet bookstores in 1994, competed with Amazon, Barnes & Noble, people in the space, and my brother and I started that company out of Nashville, Tennessee, and quickly grew that, eventually expanded into the video game business, music, and eventually merged that in late '98 with a company out in Southern California, Buy.com, that was selling computer hardware and software, and that combined company became Buy.com, and at the time Buy.com became quickly the #2 internet retailer in the space. So when it came to StudioNow and launching the company, my previous experience and kind of history and some of the relationships developed with the funding community, definitely had some relationships there that helped speed along the process.
Obviously, we're in a challenging economic climate. Tell us about how the funding's been going and what you were able to do last year with your funding.
We really raised the funding on the idea of the company, some initial progress track record. We do some wonderful things with technology, so there's definitely some interest in terms of our capabilities, what we could do with technology for this video space. What we've been able to do since then is to really ramp up, prove up the model, get the company into the $1 million revenue range, have some really blue chip clients and customers that work with us, expand our network and the capabilities of the type of content that we can create. So we feel like we're in a good position going forward for additional funding rounds. And I think the companies that are growing and doing well in this space will have no problems with funding right now.
You mentioned revenues, and of course one of my big questions about online video is how to monetize it. So what do you see as the opportunities for making money?
Well, a couple of different things. I mean, from a larger picture, what's going on in the market is you have a lot of the traditional media companies and even new entrants into the media space that are having to cut their production budgets. But at the same time, you're kind of having this conflicting trend and need to create more content because that's what the viewers want. So they, where are the resources to create this content? And that's where StudioNow comes into play. So most of the time we're working with companies that already have a budget, so they're trying to reduce it, or they're finding someone, need to find someone who can do it cheaper, better, faster, and that's where we come into play.
Okay, last question before we let you go. What do you think '09 is going to be like in your business?
Yeah, I think '09 is going to be a real breakout year for professional video content. I think you're going to find more and more people are able to figure out the monetization of that content. I think more and more companies are going to really find StudioNow's of the world and understand just our capabilities and how much content we can create, how affordable that content can be, and that will allow them a lot of flexibility to take more risk.
We like taking risks here with our online video production, so I'm glad to hear that that's going to be a good environment for it. Thank you very much, David Mason from StudioNow, and thank you for watching The Deals Behind the Money. I'm Mary Kathleen Flynn.